Today, we're going to dive into a tradition that's, well, as old as time itself, building your very own home apothecary. And look, this isn't just about collecting a bunch of cool-looking herbs. It's about getting back to a gentler, more supportive way of thinking about wellness, something that used to be a part of every single household. So let's get into it. Just take a second and really imagine that. Can you smell it? It's more than just a scent, right? It's a feeling, it's comfort, it's wisdom, and it's the sense of being able to take care of yourself. It's a direct line to a way of life that was simpler, more mindful, and honestly, it's something that's been passed down for generations. So what exactly is a home apothecary in today's world? You know, you can just think of it as your own personal wellness toolkit. It's that little shelf in your kitchen filled with nature's best solutions. It's having peppermint on hand for an upset stomach, some chamomile to help you unwind, and maybe some infused oils for those everyday aches and pains. It's meant to be accessible, it's totally personal, and you know what? It's incredibly empowering. All right, this first part is all about reclaiming forgotten wisdom. And this is so important because building an apothecary isn't just about, swapping a pill for a plant. It's about a much bigger shift. It's about fundamentally changing our perspective on how we even approach our own health. And right here, you can see a really key difference in philosophy. Look, modern medicine is amazing for emergencies, for acute issues, no question. But it often works by forcing a specific response from the body. Natural remedies, they tend to take a gentler path. The whole goal is to support your body's own incredible ability to heal itself. It helps you build a more holistic, mindful connection to your own well-being. Now for the really fun part, building your essential toolkit. And here's the best news, I promise. You do not need some fancy, expensive lab. Seriously, the foundation of your apothecary is built with really simple tools, and I bet you already have most of them in your kitchen right now. See? The tools are super straightforward. You need some airtight glass jars to keep your herbs fresh, a mortar and pestle, which just gives you that amazing hands-on connection. And of course, labels. Please never ever underestimate the power of a good label. Every single item here is chosen to make this whole process as simple and effective as possible. So if you're thinking, okay, but where do I even start with the herbs? This is your perfect starter trio. Chamomile is an absolute classic for calming down and getting a good night's sleep. Peppermint is just fantastic for digestion or a nagging tension headache. And calendula, oh, it's a true champion for soothing any kind of irritated skin. They're all so versatile, they're gentle, and they are incredibly useful to have around. Now, how you store your remedies is actually pretty crucial. So why dark glass? Well, think of it like sunglasses for your herbs. That dark color protects all those delicate, beneficial compounds from UV light, which can cause them to break down and, lose their power over time. Okay, so you've got your tools, you've got your first herbs. Now for the part that feels truly magical, making your very first remedy. We're gonna start with one of the simplest and honestly most comforting preparations there is. Making a good herbal tea is such a beautiful, simple ritual. It's about 1 tablespoon of dried herbs for every cup of water. You want the water hot, but not quite boiling. And then, this is the most important part, you have to cover your cup while it steeps. Why? Because that simple little lid traps all those wonderful aromatic compounds that would otherwise just escape with the steam. A few minutes later, you've done it. You've made your very first remedy. And that right there is really the heart of it all, isn't it? The actual act of preparing your own remedy is just as important as the remedy itself. It's a moment of mindfulness, a quiet little act of self-care that connects you directly to your own health. It's just so grounding. So this brings us to our final and maybe the most important idea of all. Your apothecary is a journey. It's not a destination, it's not a project you finish. It is a personal, living, constantly evolving practice. So what's this number 1 year all about? Well, that's the typical shelf life for dried herbs that are stored properly. It's a great reminder of why those labels we talked about are so important. When you date your jars, you can rotate your stock and make sure that whatever you're reaching for is always fresh, potent, and ready to do its job. And this is the real beauty of the whole thing. Your apothecary isn't going to be static. It's going to grow right along with you as you learn more. You'll add new herbs you discover, you'll create new remedies that work for you, and over time, it becomes this living, breathing reflection of your personal wellness journey. It becomes truly, uniquely yours. So now the question is for you. Every single journey has to start with one little step. So looking at what we've talked about, what's calling out to you? Is it going to be a calming cup of chamomile tea before bed? Or maybe a soothing calendula oil for your skin? Whatever you choose, you're taking that first amazing step on what is an incredibly rewarding path.